Hey, what's going on? This is Marcus, and I want to talk today about how you can get the best results, not just for 6 weeks or 12 weeks or even a year, but lifelong progress. That's what this is all about, right? Now, the biggest thing for me is it has to have a little bit of variety. It has to have some kind of variances that are going to allow you to change things up when you want, to alleviate boredom, because a lot of times you get into these structured programs with percentages and exact reps and exact sets. And to be honest, for me, I'm not going to be a power lifter. I'm not going to compete in Olympic lifting. If that's what you're doing, awesome, keep going. You have to have that scheduled routine. But for the average person, and even the above average person, you don't need to do that. You can have what I call structured chaos. You can have your cake and eat it too, in a way. So what I like to do personally, because I've tried everything, I've had the exact plans that I've done for months and months and months, and I got great results. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't work. I've done the kind of have a plan and then kind of wing it a little bit. And then I've had the F it all, I'm just going to do something different every single session. And I've done each of these long enough to see the results and to feel the results. And to be perfectly honest, for me, for my sanity, for my body, for my performance, what worked the best for me was having that structure, having that outline, and then from there, being able to wing it and change things up as I wanted to. So rather than being so dead set on a certain method or a certain type of training, I was able to kind of play around with it, and really I was still getting great results. I was getting stronger, I was getting leaner if that was my goal, I was getting bigger if that was my goal, and it worked. So what I want to do for you is allow you to be able to kind of manipulate your own training program so that you can be the expert on you. So now the first part, of course, if you are an absolute beginner, do not try to deviate. Do not try to manipulate anything. Just follow a plan for the set time, go through it, see the results. It's only after you've had a few years. Now, at the same time, this is also a dangerous trap because a lot of times people have some experience and then they think, shit, I'm an expert. But no, don't think that either. You want to be the expert on you, and this is where this formula that I'll give you is going to work out for you. Okay, so before you can start manipulating things and manipulate your plan, you have to have, number one, the most important thing of anything, you have to have an absolute vision of what you see yourself, how you see your body, how you see yourself performing, moving, whatever. That is just paramount to this entire program. So no matter what plan you do, you have to say, okay, I want to get bigger. Cool. Visualize. How much bigger do you want to get? How much size do you want to add? Okay, I want to get shredded. All right, what does that mean? What percentage does that mean for you? Okay, the next thing is to create or to find the plan that is going to be best for that goal. So whatever that is. So you have to create or find the actual plan. So obviously you can find through tons of different resources. We have tons of plans on Embody Strength and Embody Pro. There's plans all over the place depending on the goals that you have and depending on the tools that you have access to. So once you've done that, now the next part is this is where you can start to vary things. This is where you can start to manipulate certain things about the training. So simple is better. I mean, I stress this more than anything because when you overcomplicate these plans, when you overcomplicate things, it doesn't do you any good. It muddies up the water, so that means you're not going to get the results you want because you're constantly trying to change things up. Now, you want to kind of think of yourself as a mad scientist and tweaking little things, but for the most part, simple. Occam's razor, simplest answer is most likely the right answer. So the only two things we're going to change, the only two things we're going to vary are the movements and the rest periods. So in the plan, if you find that you're doing some pressing or some whatever, let's take pressing for example, how can you vary up that movement? How can you change that vertical push to something else other than pressing? How can you turn it into push pressing, kneeling pressing, seated pressing, seesaw with you're doing 2 kettlebells, barbell pressing? I mean, which implement can you use? Can you use something else? Body weight, performing handstand push-ups, pike push-ups. So don't get caught up in just one type of exercise. Again, unless you're a power lifter or an Olympic lifter and you are specifically training to be better in those movements, in those exercises, then vary it up. How else can you vary it up? Look through different movements. Look at other people's stuff. What can you learn from them? Rest periods. Now, I am a huge proponent for shorter rest periods regardless of the move. I mean, even for strength workouts, I love incorporating shorter rest periods because I just feel like I get more out of it. So I'm not a big straight set guy. I don't like to do 5-6 sets of something with 2 minutes in between. Again, I don't know how many times I have to say this. I'm not trying to compete in powerlifting, so if you are doing that, you have to train that way. But I'll do 2 to 3 movements and then rest seconds to a minute, maybe a minute and a half tops before moving on to the next one. And then depending on the week, depending on the workout, I'll vary that up and try different things, and I'll see how my body reacts to that. So I'll try something for, a week or two, do a minute rest with 3 different movements. And then the next week I'll look through my journal and I'll say, okay, now let's try 45 seconds. Okay, let's try a little bit more. Let's try 75 seconds and kind of see how that goes. So see how we can just make these little tweaks, and now I can become the expert on myself. I can change things up exactly how I need and where I'm going to get optimal results. The whole point of this is I don't want you to get tied into one way of thinking or one way of training, because that's how you get stale. That's how you stagnate. And really, everything works sometimes, but nothing works all the time. So you have to be able to change things on a dime if you notice that things aren't working. And that's what leads me to the last point, is you must be tracking. You need to be tracking consistently and meticulously. So I don't just mean tracking exercises or reps or sets, but I mean tracking all that. On top of that, you want to say, how did I feel? Could I have scaled back? Should I have pushed forward? Did I feel like I had enough rest? Did I feel like I needed to rest a little bit more? I want you to get down to the absolute just nitty-gritty of how your training went, and that's going to help you progress so much faster. With this, you can take your plan, you can take one of my plans, you can take a plan you find online, you can create a plan that's balanced, and that's a key word when you put together a plan, is balance, which we'll talk about in another episode. But you can just tweak a couple things, just the movements and just the rest periods, and that's going to help you have all kinds of variances that are going to help you push along. Because let's face it, this shit is fun. Let's not take it too seriously. Let's progress. Let's be serious about our results. But on top of that, let's have fun. Let's have fun with this. So for more stuff, for more training, check out embodypro.com. We got full programs, we got nutrition, we got all kinds of stuff, and we will see you soon. So peace out.